Yeah, what's up, everybody? Back again, Warp Charge Gaming, episode 108. Here with Chris and James and Matt Simon. We're all hanging out together across the globe. This is a beautiful thing, and glad to be hanging for this episode 108. I'm in fucking Battlegrounds. We were in. Here I am dropping F-bombs quickly, but that's hard not to drop an F-bomb there, man. It was a lot of not being here.
I'm really excited.
It feels good to be back, man. 2 days of being back in the store and seeing the community come and support the store has been awesome. People getting some games on, but also just like obviously have been itching and kind of. I feel like there was people have been saving their pennies there to try to come support Battlegrounds, and it was a big appreciation for people to come to get a bunch of gear. And there's a lot of cool stuff to be getting here soon with the Indominus box set about to drop. I know, Matt, you said you got to see a full review video. Our resident Necron player, yeah. Between you, Matt Simon, and Carson, who we haven't seen play Necrons in forever, you guys look way back in the our vault there, and you guys will see Carson play way back when. But exciting stuff. I mean, the 9th edition leaks. It's funny that it was competitive 40K. Like one of the people on there on the Facebook thread, like shamelessly posted the 9th edition leaks that are all just somebody taking a picture of their codex or their rule book. And then at the same time today, just the day before after that happened, they on the community page for Warhammer. Or Games Workshop, their Warhammer community page, they posted a 26-page version of the rule book. So we got to see a good chunk and nice, not photo style. Like, it's so funny when you see the photo, because this happened at 8th edition too. I remember for like a month playing the 8th edition right out of the pictures off an Instagram or some shit, you know? So. Yeah. So I'm excited that we have some actually relevant, straight out of the book shit to talk about tonight. Some information we haven't got to have over these last few weeks that aren't just leaked from GW. So we'll go over that in a minute. We'll talk about the new Necrons for sure. But I just want to give a quick shout about one more thing about Battlegrounds and what's tight about being here is I'm stoked over just the last 2 days we launched with Warp Charge. Obviously, we run a bunch of events, and I love doing that. And we're still not full-fledged able to get a bunch of people in one place. People love these fucking tournaments, and we'll get like 50 people up in here and just rubbing shoulders real deep. So we're still avoiding that, and I was excited to create.
Schedules up here that we are going to. It's a real tournament.
You're getting ready to go to some real tournaments?
August 1st.
Okay.
Real life.
Okay, that's gonna be cool, man. It definitely feels wild after just being around people and people gaming here over the last couple of days has been wild. Let alone full-fledged, like kind of pulling that Band-Aid off and getting to experience hanging out with folks again.
Yeah, driving 2 hours away to go to it. So
yeah.
We're driving. Others are driving. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Are they requiring masks and stuff or what?
I would assume so.
Yeah, I hope so. It's kind of crazy out there. Not everybody's of the opinion that this is all. I mean, I guess some people still don't think this is real. The plandemic, if you will. Okay. All I know is that people are dying and different states are doing some crazy shit. We're getting dark quick, guys. Going down the COVID rabbit hole. I'm trying to
talk about it's grim dark, bro.
Yeah, grim dark, right?
Grim dark, bro. 9th edition on the horizon.
Nurgle 1 2020. I'll just say. Maybe Zinch saw it all coming, but yeah. So what we've done as a creative way to not help bolster any numbers, if we can help it, is to be safe. Everybody's being wearing protection and stuff when they come to the store. It's all gravy, and we're doing a tournament league that involves people getting their matches on independently. So not everybody's coming to the event all in one day. What's been cool is that I've always wanted to have kind of I like the single elimination style tournament, but it's really cutthroat, and most people won't like drive out to an event to potentially lose the first round and have to go home. You know, so it's not something you can do commonly, but after watching a lot of tabletop simulated virtual events that have gone down, there's been a ton of virtual events for different game systems that have happened due to necessity, because people have to find a way. And that necessity via tabletop simulator has actually opened up some possibilities that haven't happened before, where people from different metas from all over the world are now fighting one another. People that have been, bedroom players and never fought anybody outside of their usual friend group are now fighting world, some of the top players in the world sometimes, and it's really cool to see and experience. And what's also cool is how many games are happening because of the not needing to go somewhere and not needing all this physical terrain and et cetera, painted models that, I just talked to somebody today that didn't want to play in the tournament league because their army wasn't painted. I was like, dang, that's your restriction before you play in a tournament, is your entire army's got to be painted? Dude, that's way too long.
That's 10 victory points.
Yeah, 10 victory points. Right. No, maybe that's a reasonable tournament person there. Maybe he's really competitive and he's got to get his 10 victory points. But it's been cool. I've seen a lot of cool systems going down online, and I pretty much mimicked it with having this pod system where when 8 people sign up, then a pod launches, right? And these pods are basically qualifiers to get into the finals. Okay, and when you sign up for the 8-man pod, it fires off, and you can sign up for as many pods as you want as long as you have time to complete that many games within a 10-day period. So like right now we have 3 pods that are about to be going in parallel with one another, and me and like Mike Vendusky, maybe Austin Winfield, are all jumping into like all 3 of them, and as soon as you lose one,
Nice.
You're out. So if you lose a match, you're out. So out of an 8-man pod, first round 8 players play 4-on-4, and then in round 2, 4 players are cut, and only the 4 winners are then playing each other. And into the final round, only 2 people are playing. And first place gets double their money back, second place gets just their money back, and you're getting an entry into the finals. All the additional prize pool goes into the finals prize pool. And until we collect 8 unique winners, we continue to have pods fire off all the way between here and December. So it's like a 5-month event until we can find 8 unique winners. If players continue to win the pods and deny people from being a unique winner, then they're essentially building up the finalist pot. And additionally, every time you win a pod, you're making a snapshot of the factions that you won with. Okay, so if you win with like say High Fleet Kraken Tyranids, then you now have that as your faction snapshot. If you win again with say Kronos, that doesn't give you the ability to say make a Kronos Kraken list. It gives you an option to play either one of those lists, of those faction keywords, kind of thing. So it's pretty neat. So because the tournament's going to be going through into 9th edition, obviously, and it's being kind of posed to the community is that I'm going to work to be an expert on 9th edition rule set, and I'll be here to referee, stream, and help coach and prime people into the 9th edition. So it's really cool that our community and anybody watching right now from our community, this is kind of like their local fucking news channel for miniature wargaming, is where they're going to get to watch the competition as it unfolds while participating in it. And usually when you're at a tournament, it's getting streamed, only 3 players, out of 3 rounds get shown, and you don't get to actually see those players fight each other or see the list that you're going to be going up against in the next round or in another pod. So pretty cool. Seems pretty. What do you guys think? I think I hadn't got to really talk about it. I just kind of fucking went for it. It's all been set up and going. It's off. It's fun, man. It's off to the races. So like to.
Oh yeah, dude. I like the setup. If you got a lot of time, you can play a lot of Warhammer.
Exactly, and so it basically adds, and what's cool, guys, is that they're still allowed to be ITC official. So currently we have kind of 20 participants out of these 3 pods, but the ITC rankings can only be recorded for the pod size, not for the event size. So basically people are winning ITC points for 8-man events. Hey, better than nothing, right?
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah.
At least if you go on, you're going to get at least first place victory under your belt.
Yeah, and the cool thing is that there's so many folks that are new to the area or they're wanting to meet people. This is kind of a casual tournament-like environment. And it made me start to reflect, what does a tournament mean? It means prize support and getting guaranteed games. And I think,
the single elimination is cool too, because you just get lucky and win a game, even if you're not playing the most competitive list. It's a dice game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, who knows what that pod does? Half the people are out. If we don't get 8 unique winners, I probably will try to dig for some runners-up, some people who got second place a few times. But let's say I can't fire off a finals event, then I'm going to take the pot that was created, and I'm just going to divide it amongst the people that have won based on percentages of wins. So let's say that, James came in here and he won every pod every time, and nobody else could be a unique winner. Then we would give James 100% of the prize pool. It's pretty funny. So James, yeah, you can go ahead and just move on back and try to get this prize pool, dude.
My God.
I was thinking, I'm moving to Virginia. Good. Oh, new Necrons.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about what you were seeing in the, Necrons I just got to see them get played today. I played against Tyranids the other day. That was our first game on stream. That was cool. Played with the new Engine War Exalted Demon action. That was kind of neat. But the new, what's that, James?
You're playing 8th edition, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm raring to go for 9th edition after reading all these damn leaks, but I still haven't got to the point where I've seen the points changes out of the leaks. I don't think I saw that. And
like rule changes, like
the Storm Shield
wounds, and you're paying more points for them. Is that real?
Say that again. You broke up a little bit. Playing more points for what?
To get 2 wounds. Is that real?
2 wounds.
What's getting 2 wounds? Sorry, I still missed the first part.
I don't think any of that stuff's come out for any other army yet.
Damn, we missed the initial part you're describing as far as what's real.
Damn.
Yeah.
Taking a shit already.
It's all right. Well, just so that we're on the same page. I got a quick spreadsheet of some of the shit that I took note of that we haven't necessarily seen in the leaks. And one was like, I'll just go down the list. Titanics, they can fall back and shoot. They gave us a universal rule. Back when we went from 7th to 8th, they were taking away universal things, and that every guy operated different. Well, now if you got the Titanic keyword and you fall back, you can shoot, and that's special because now you don't get to fall back and shoot if you have fly. And that was like a huge part of 8th. Well, an interesting thing I stumbled across is that if you're a psyker and you fall back, you can't cast psychic powers. I was like, oh,
true.
Didn't see that. It was also interesting that aircrafts, where they don't create heroic interventions or pile in, consolidate towards the nearest enemy unless you have the fly keyword. Chris, you mentioned this the other night, but caster psychers, they no longer can ping pong between the psychers. They must cast all their powers before moving on to the next psyker, which is a big deal. Yep, can't really set things up as much. So over the last night particularly, I started getting a little sad face, starting to wonder if combat's getting nerfed more than I want to see. Like, okay, so one of the things is in combat now, instead of who is eligible to fight? It used to be a model within an inch of a model within an inch, but now it's a model within a half inch of a model within a half inch.
Or 5 inches
vertical
engagement distance.
Yeah, I clap my hands to that one. That feels good. Did you hear that, James?
I heard you, bro.
Okay, good. Just checking. Yeah, so you got to be within a half inch of a model within a half inch. But as Chris mentioned, you can fight 5 inches vertical now, which is exciting. So I'm down with that. We know about the blast rules. We know about monsters and vehicles shooting in combat. We know that only infantry suffer the -1 to hit for moving with heavy weapons. We know that there's no shooting blast in combat, right? So the character targeting rule is huge. That's going to play a lot into 9th edition. Only can target a character. You no longer have to, unless it's within 3 inches of a monster or a vehicle or a unit of 3 or more, you can target a character. Yeah, I think that's tight. I like it too. I agree.
My moves. They changed the way they worded that. Only a move, advanced move, and what was the other one? Fucking something else. But it's not charge or heroic intervention, that's for sure.
Pylon?
Yeah, well, one thing that's whack is that what I found out last night I hadn't noticed is that the heroic intervene, when something heroic intervenes, that now makes it eligible to fight even if you didn't charge it. So usually you can only fight models you charged. Now you can also fight models you charged or who heroically intervened. Yeah, so that's definitely an upgrade. And then now the biggest slap Like a huge, we used to do so much of this. I'm so used to horde play, plague bearers, cultists, you name it, horde play. We would pool our models in a certain way to be all over the board, capture objectives. Okay, I pulled myself out of coherency, I can't move anymore, right? Well now, just like Age of Sigmar, there's the coherency check. So after you do morale, which has changed, we do morale as normal. You lose a model, you got to take morale. You fail your morale, you automatically lose 1 wound, you lose a body. And then on top of that, you got to roll a dice for every model in the unit, and on ones you lose a model, or even worse, if you've lost more than half the unit, on ones or twos you lose a model.
Mhm.
Wow.
So wait, say that again.
This is pretty gross, yeah. So morale is as it was before. Okay, I lost models, so I need to take a morale check. You take your leadership check. If you pass your leadership check, you're groovy. I believe the leadership check is still modified by the amount of bodies lost. Do you know if that's true, Chris, or is it just straight up a leadership check?
I believe it's still modified by bodies lost.
Okay, so I think it's just like it is now. You take a leadership check, however many guys you lost, that's modifying the leadership. Okay, you fail it. If you fail it, you automatically lose a model straight up. That's happening. Then, yeah, instead of doing the difference of what your leadership is to your roll, now instead, you just roll a dice for every model in the unit. And every roll of a 1, you lose a guy. So it can be good, it can be bad, because if you took light, it can be worse if you took only a little bit of losses, and you would have only lost a few guys normally. But it can be.
Say if you lose half? Then
yeah, so that's the caveat. Yeah, if you lose more than half the squad, then you have to take models off the board on 1s and 2s.
Oh man, that's tough.
Yeah, so let's think about it. So if you got 20 guys, you lose 10 of them, then you fail the leadership. You're going to lose 1 guy and then roll a dice for the rest of the other 9 guys left, and on 1s and 2s you pull models.
Yeah, that's tough, man. That's tough. Even on the lead army, like a squad of 6 guys, man.
Yeah,
like
5.
And, man,
So here's the thing that makes me sad about combat some more is that we already know that if you want to try point something, you have to try point 2 units, because now they can command point bust out of there for 2 CP. Mm-hmm. That sucks. Yeah, well, worse than that.
Oh, you didn't know about that. I didn't tell. I've been trying to fill him in, but he didn't hear about that.
Yeah, you can't. There's now a universal stratagem for 2 CP to walk over models and leave try points.
So even if you don't out, the guys can get out of combat like.
This is the spirit. I see you fretting there, James. I'm not. It gets a little worse. It gets a little worse. So that's one way. That's one way to get out. But then, here we are talking about morale. You could also just bang yourself out of fucking coherency. You could also just get yourself out of combat with the new coherency check. So after you take the morale phase, then any models that aren't in coherency anymore, you pull models off the board till you are in coherency.
Also, as it's worded right now for coherency checks, if your unit is 6 or more models, every model in the unit has to be within coherency range of 2 or more at least 2 models.
Yeah.
So you can't just have a line, you almost need some kind of backfield or zigzag.
Yeah. When you have a model unit 6 or more. Yeah, the movement trays are definitely more clutch, because now if you have a unit that's 6 or more, you got to be within coherency of 2 or more models. Yeah.
I don't know what Mark Robles was talking about.
Yeah, that seems like a different game, bro.
It is a different game. Yeah, fuck you, 2.0. This is a whole new edition. So we got coherency check. We got the heroic intervene thing. We got the 5-inch vertical. So here's they fixed heroic a little bit. People have been cheesing the heroic intervention. I know I have. Where even if you're engaged in combat, if you're not based, you could still heroic intervene. Well, you know what I'm talking about, James?
You could move.
Yeah, I never did it. I thought that's not.
It felt cheesy, but rules is written. There's nothing saying you couldn't, and we know we hate rules that say, well, nothing says you can't. Well, they finally said something, and now they specifically say that you can't heroic intervene if you're engaged. So that's good. And here's the wacky thing that we were talking about right before we went live, and then we'll talk about Necrons, is that Chris and I were just mulling over a discovery that has not been talked about really at all. And I've only been able to see it because we have the picture version. I don't even feel good about showing it live on air, the fucking cheap version that's not real. Buy the book, people. Buy fucking Indominus that comes with the book. Buy it from Battlegrounds. Yeah.
This is buying 3 copies.
Really? You gonna buy it from Battlegrounds?
Oh,
Come on.
yeah.
We'll send it to you, Matt. We'll get you a deal, dude. That's what I'm talking about. All right, so here the thing that blew my mind that would actually changes a lot is one on the light scale, aux support, super heavy aux, fortifications, they never gain you detachment benefits any longer. So I used to take in my chaos list, like you take pure flawless host, and then you take a auxiliary Slaanesh demon detachment, just so that you can gain the locust to be able to advance and charge. Well, you can't do that anymore. Now, aux support detachments don't give you detachment benefits. Okay. Now, additionally, here's the whack thing, is that all these detachments, they cost command points. We know that at 2,000 points, we get 12 CP starting out, and you have to pay command points to take these detachments. Well, we saw that the Supreme Command Detachment, even though a patrol detachment costs points, and even though all these other, a fortification detachment costs 1 CP to take. But if you take a Supreme Command Detachment, it's 0 CP.
Hey, you ready for the reason for this?
Yeah, I'm ready, because I don't understand this.
They can sell a single character for $40.
Oh, mic drop, dude. Makes so much sense. That makes so much sense. I totally agree with you.
Think about it. They can sell a sprue of like 20.
We're all gonna bring
35.
like our Primic. I'm bringing the Silent King whenever he comes out. I'm sure.
Yeah, no, that is so not wrong. Genius. Well, there you
sell their most expensive bottles.
fucking marketing genius. Well, there you have it, friends. Well, they disguise it with a narrative twist.
Liquid crack. All right, I mean.
Yeah, because what they did with the Supreme Command is they did kill the Magnus Morty combo. They no longer, you can only take 1 Primarch or 1 Demon Primarch or 1 Supreme Commander, if you will. So no like Gilliman and some other guy or whatever. So
Gilliman's like get up roll anymore, right?
Yeah, then they changed the tactical reroll. Yeah.
Like you can only reroll certain things now.
Yep.
So there's a lot. It's only
That's true.
Hit roll.
You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of big. I think that's underrated.
Oh, it's huge. Yeah, that's actually straight out of Kill Team. So for Kill Team players, will be used to that, as well as the free CP every turn. Is a Kill Team mechanic. Yeah. Now what we're talking about CP.
Give me some CP knowledge.
Yeah. So you could for the battalion's command benefit, will give you will refund you the CP you pay for the battalion if your warlord comes from the battalion, right? So now you're no longer taking multiple detachments in order to get CP, to farm CP. You're actually costing yourself it. And
because it messes with that free Supreme detachment if you bring a Primarch type unit, because your warlord has to be that.
Correct, yeah. The new Supreme says that if you bring like a Primarch or a Supreme Commander, they have to be your warlord. So they put this narrative twist to it.
Exactly.
No more double Primarch.
Or your battalion, then it's going to be your warlord has to come out of there. Now you can't take the Primarch for free.
That's true. Yeah, you can't double dip on having a Primarch warlord plus get the command benefit of the battalion, basically. But if you don't take a Primarch though, then you can take a Supreme Commander, I should say. Then you can take your warlord out of the battalion, get your 3 CP back for that expenditure, and then in addition, take the Supreme Command, which its command benefit is to give you more CP based on the type of detachments that you already took. So if you take a brigade detachment, you get 4 CP if you take a Supreme. If you took a battalion, you get 3 CP if you took a battalion. If you take a Supreme. So you could get 3 CP back for taking a battalion with a warlord in it and be back up to 12 again. Because you start at 12, you go down to 9 for buying the battalion, you put your warlord in it, and you refund it back to 12. Now you take a Supreme Command, and that gives you 3 more CP because you have a battalion.
So
now you're at 15. And then over the course of 5 turns, you're going to gain 5 more, and you're going to get 20 over the course of the game. You're only allowed to take one
That's
Supreme
good.
Command. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
like, what is there a bonus if you take the Supreme with like an Outrider or a?
let me try to pull it up on the sideline here.
Outrider still one command point, or like it takes one command point, or you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the other detachments? Are there any benefit to taking any of those?
Not terribly. The Outrider, all units must be from the same. No, none for the Outrider, none from the Spearhead, none for Vanguard. There's no command benefits. 4 command points if you're. So yeah, it looks like basically the battalion gives you 3 back. A brigade will give you 4 back, which isn't even that big of a hike for as much taxes you got to take.
A battalion at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the battalion is. I mean, if that's the case, you're going to end up seeing a battalion as a supreme and a supreme as your standard list for.
Absolutely. Now, here's something I just noticed is that I don't think a brigade used to max out at 4 HQs. It looks like a brigade now maxes out at 5 HQs.
Interesting.
Many HQs. You're taking a Supreme anyways for 1 command point more?
Well, I'm going to look right now. I think a Supreme got limited, actually.
A battalion as opposed to a brigade on the HQs. As a brigade, so a brigade you said is 5, up to 5. A battalion is what, 3? 1 to 3, or?
On HQs, yeah, battalion's 1 to 3 as it is now, yeah.
1 to 3, so you take 3, and then you can take your Supreme.
Battalion is 2 to 3.
That's a lot of HQs still, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking at the damn Supreme right now. I'm weirded out by the Supreme because I'm actually not seeing a limitation. It looks like, and weird. It looks like a Supreme Command is literally just 1 model. And it has a choice. It says Elite or HQ. So when you take a Supreme, you can either take...
So if you take an Elite
one unit, yeah. Yeah, it says this detachment can only include 1 Primarch, Demon Primarch, or Supreme Commander unit. And this, maybe I totally misread this.
What's going on, George?
You can only include 1 Supreme Command detachment in your army, and this can. So Chris, you were calling this pretty right, and I was right and wrong in the same time. This detachment can only include 1. So I thought it could include anybody, but it says.
What? Like, give me the regulations on that again?
It says that this detachment can only include 1 Primarch, Demon Primarch, or Supreme Commander unit, and the unit must be selected as your warlord.
So that's basically a heavy auxiliary fucking unit almost. Like, you can't even take overlords or, like, Necron-wise. You can't even take regular HQs. You're talking about, it's almost like a super heavy auxiliary for, like...
Yeah, this seems like it's made only for the special character commanders. Yeah, and that...
Cool, you know what I mean? It's going to be the Silent King. It's going to be Mortarion. It's going to be Magnus. It's going to be... That's it.
Exactly, yeah. So, Chris, you were correct in the fact that, that this was going to replace the battalion's command benefit. But then I was correct in the fact that you don't get a command benefit only if your warlord's in that detachment. You know, so interesting. So I was still mixing the 8th edition Supreme Command in my mind, and I was trying to make it be what I wanted it to be, and it's not that cool. It's not that cool.
Also,
be a judge.
It's interesting too, the way they've created the keywords on this detachment. Which, first off, I like the fact they further clarified keywords in the rules. Like right in the core rulebook, it's like, hey, like the bold text is a keyword. Like there's no FAQ to look for. They put it right there for you. Yeah. But for the Supreme Command, they specified Primarch and Demon Primarch. So some people are already looking at this as a rumor that maybe we're going to get some more Loyalist Primarch soon this edition.
Sure. Yeah, it's definitely telling. Yeah.
More Primarchs.
More Primarchs. More. Yeah, please. It's definitely telling.
Reading that you just said is like would signal to me that both are coming.
I agree. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could totally see that. One thing that's weird is that they have for the Force Org picture, it says you can take this or this, and I'm pretty sure it's the that's a super heavy or HQ is the symbol I'm looking at. So basically the Supreme Command can be either a super heavy or an HQ as long as it's a Primarch, Demon Primarch, or Supreme Commander. Okay, well, okay, that's different.
Be a Supreme Commander.
What's that?
A named knight be a Supreme Commander.
I don't know. Can it? Is that what you're?
I don't know.
I haven't seen that. Well, so I guess what's whack is that I apologize. You can't get a bunch of extra CP, and I'm sad about it. You're still.
I was like, dude, I'm bringing Overlord's curse.
I know. Yeah. I was like, oh, here we go. I was so excited. Because I love the Supreme Command attachment.
Dude, I'm like, man, Scorpion Lord.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No. Sadly, it's just a Primarch detachment. Yeah. Fuck you. Goddamn GW. Yeah, not as cool, but okay. So it looks like we're going to be floating around on average with 17 CP over the course of a game. Getting your 12 CP after getting your 3 refunded from your Warlord. And that's if. The weird part is, so I'm not seeing the extra tax that I saw everybody talk about to take extra detachment faction keywords. The only tax I'm seeing is that if you could remember how we used to say, well, if you take it, you'll have to take this in addition. But it looks like it's straight up just that you're paying for more detachments, and that's the only expense. Is that?
I kind of agree.
I didn't look at it, but that would make sense.
Yeah, I don't see anything saying like, oh, you're taking Alpha Legion and you're taking World Eaters. Well, then you got to pay an extra point because they're 2 different faction keywords.
Yeah, I haven't yet to see that either since the early days of.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're on the same page there. There's been some things that are not appearing as that I was thinking was going to be, basically. And I'm okay with that. I was so fucking hyped with that Supreme Command. I just got hella deflated. I was like fucking basically spitting and talking, so excited. And no, not good. Okay, that's all I had. That's as far as what I saw so far. Is there anything that you guys can think of that I didn't necessarily cover, that the leaks didn't cover from community page?
I cover a lot of Necron shit.
I did a little bit, but the rules wise, the charging thing, how you got to get to
every unit, yeah.
Big.
They did give us. I did see a terrain. Then of course the terrain rules is a big deal. The board size is a big deal.
That's the only thing I haven't really delved into is the terrain stuff, really.
The main thing that I saw in this picture version of the leaks is the deal with that they actually they say this is what a ruin is and this is what a crater is, and as we know, it's pretty.
3 inches or what?
What was that now?
It's just based off height.
No, I think it's based off player determination. Kind of has been, obviously things that have a certain height value. Gain, you can give, basically if you have a piece of terrain and you want to give it any given terrain feature like scalable or inspiring or obscuring or exposed position, if you want to give it any of these terrain features, you can. But otherwise, they have the GW version, the generic, here's the terrain features of a ruin, here's the terrain features of a forest, here's the terrain feature of a crater. So they already have defined several terrain types with what features belong to those terrain types. But you can obviously apply whatever features you want to whatever you have, because not everybody has like a cookie cutter ruin or whatever, But we might just see what we're used to seeing, and that's that. Yeah, that looks like a wall. It's a ruin. That's a wall. That's a ruin. That's a ruin. That's a ruin.
Question.
The swarm got to breach now. Swarm and beast can go through walls now. Yeah. So swarms for Matt Simon, right?
I think some swarms, man. I love swarms, dude. Right? I love nothing more than
what scarabs? Yeah, now you got scarabs that can go through walls. That's kind of a big deal for them.
The walls. They got a little boost in the book. So I'm excited about that. They're actually going to be a decent unit, I think.
Okay.
Maybe they do now.
Spectacular, but they're going to be all right. They're going to have a place on the field.
I wish they got OPSEC, man. They would be so strong if they were objective secured units.
Oh yeah. I mean, them having fly is pretty big too, though. I mean, I love that they gave them fly.
Oh, cool.
That happened in the last edition.
Oh, sure, yeah. I guess the fact that I don't care as much that they're not troops now that you're not being taxed as much to get CP with troops.
Yes.
I wanted them to be troops more, just like I wanted Fenrisian Wolves to be troops. Because you have to take them as a tax to get a fundamental part of the game. But now that you don't, you get to bring a little bit more of what you want without suffering those 120, 200 some points of tax,
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. So tell us about I think we can hear you pretty good. A little bit choppy, but try to tell us what you're excited about.
I just go over the winners out of what I saw. What I thought, anyways, was well, the Plasmancer I thought was kind of just okay. He's crit tech with a special gun that's 18 inches. Does all 7, -3, 2 damage, but for the most part, he's just all right. He's got a couple of cool abilities where he does mortal wounds to the units, but got to get him close, and he's not very combat oriented, which is kind of typical for Necron characters. But the Warriors, I thought, are going to be really good. I think they get re-roll 1s to reanimation naturally. That just comes built in now, and you get the extra gun. I'm not sure what those new pylon things are going to do. But I think
the terrain features.
Yeah, but I think you're going to be able to get them up close and personal quick, and I think they're going to want you to use that 14-inch gun. So either way,
that forces you to buy the new model.
Yeah, either way, like I think the Warriors re-rolling 1s on reanimation with a squad of 20 of them is with a 5-up invul is pretty good. Just having a built-in tool like that, especially when you can give it a +1 to the Cryptek. Or one of the other new models that's coming in that box is the Walker, which is a 9-inch bubble. It gives a 9-inch bubble to +1 to reanimation. You got to pick the unit, but that was an okay unit. But besides that, the Overlord got changed a little bit. My Will Be Done happens in the command phase. It's still +1 to hit. The +1 to advance, and the movement happens to all units within 6 inches of the Overlord instead of having to pick a unit now. So it's 2 different things, which is kind of affects more units. Good. I mean, it's not great, but it makes it better a little bit. The Royal Warden, I thought, was a really good unit. I'm not sure if he's going to be an elite or an HQ, but he's got a good rapid-fire gauze weapon. His big thing is within 9 inches of him, he gets to pick a unit, and that unit can fall back and still shoot. And I think that is going to be huge for Warriors once again. Because you get 21 there with those 14-inch rapid-fire gun. Fall back at 7 inches, and your rapid-fire and strength 5 -2, 1 damage. I mean,
sounds pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. I was a little disappointed in the score packs. Maybe I didn't see the whole sheet right, but the new score packs are pretty good, actually. I like the weapons. I like the whole profile on them. The only problem was they only come in squads of 3.
So this is a brand new unit, right? They didn't have this at all. And
the three-legged walker, whatever it is.
Okay. Yeah.
They weren't bad. They're pretty good, but squad of 3 of them is pretty tough, especially when you're trying to get your animation protocols. Like usually you want to delve in and get a unit of 6, like of the other destroyers. Whatever you're using, really, you want to go max unit squad, but you want to get your animation protocol out. And only having 3 of them in a unit, that could really hurt them. So I don't know how much we're going to see out of them. They're a good unit, but just squad sized. But other than that, didn't see too much out of the book that was like spectacular.
I wonder how
the Royal Wardens, the Overlord got better. So
yeah, it sounds solid. I mean, it sounds better than what you had for sure.
Exactly. So it's like, I mean, the Scorpack Lord wasn't bad. I was hoping for Demon Prince stats.
Yeah.
He didn't get Demon Prince stats. He got close to him.
It would hurt him is the 1 damage.
So what hurts him is the 1 damage on the Flensing Claws, because I mean he can get 2 attacks apiece with the claws, which is great because then he's getting 8 attacks. But it's -1 damage. You would have put 2 damage on that. You'd have been a really good unit.
Yeah, come on, some Malefic Talon style profile, right?
Like I said, I was hoping for Demon Prince. I came in right under, so it's But
yeah,
I mean we still got better. Necron's got better.
Yeah.
Especially with the charge, and if you take the Dynasty, it gives you auto advance 6, and then you move in.
Well, and as we saw from the chapter approved, maybe it'll be similar, but one of the things that something that can really be a big boost in an army's favor is all about points. If their points were a little bit more cost effective than other armies, then in certain units that we thought, well, unit's okay, but if you can spam a lot more stuff in Necrons than you can in others just because of cost, then that all of a sudden makes them way better than meets the eye, because we don't necessarily know points yet, right?
I mean, I did hear Necron Warriors are 12 points.
Okay, what about that? I wonder about that Walker thing, because I've heard you and Mike both be like, the Walker, it's so cool, but it's it doesn't necessarily it's not that great.
I've only seen the one walker, was the shorter one, which is the reanimation walker. It's actually a monster, so it's not a vehicle. It's
hides characters. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's only 6 wounds.
it's only 6 wounds. Got
Oh, weird.
It's really just a reanimation thing.
It's not a character. That's weird. 6 wounds is not a character.
No, it's not a character. It's just a monster, and it's a 12-inch. It's got a 12-inch gun that's like 3 shots. The stats aren't great. It's okay or whatever.
Priced right, what they're going to be.
Yeah,
they're going to be distraction carnifexes.
I'm thinking it's going to come into about 100.
Oh, dang! They froze a little bit on us.
Animation.
You froze.
So it's basically just an animation problem.
Okay.
But out of 20 warriors, if you're giving +1 reanimation, another crypt type is giving them +1 reanimation, and they get reroll 1s naturally. Now you're looking at a unit that's coming back on a 3-up, reroll 1.
Yeah, so then when it takes that cheap unit and makes it a distraction carnifex, you have to get rid of it, otherwise it becomes a nuisance.
Man, I think as a Necron player, you're trying to hide that thing as best you can. You don't want that thing getting seen at all, man. That thing is.
It's so big.
Yeah. You can with obscuring terrain. All you need some terrain that's 5 inches or more, and you're fine, dude.
See, is that the terrain rules? I haven't gone.
Yeah. Unless you're a model with 18 wounds or more, so you can't be in the terrain. You have to have the terrain between you and the firing model, right? So let's say we got a ruin in between you and them, and you're peeking up over the top of that ruin because you're so freaking tall, right? But so they can totally see you. There you go. So they see you over the bastion. But because you have less than 18 wounds and you have this obscuring piece of terrain in between you, you just count as not being visible.
Mm-hmm.
So you could have wings, you could have anything that's crazy poking out all around that thing, but if it's in between your bases when they're drawing that line of fire, then you're not going to be seen.
It's bases, not like models or anything like that. It's bases.
I'm assuming bases. I actually don't know for sure where the measuring comes from.
Because, actually, that thing's not that tall. That's the shorter one of the two. I don't know what the bigger one does, because that's not in the...
Yeah, I'm surprised by the profile. To say I have not seen... I can't think of very many. Besides, like, a Patriarch, I can only think of characters that are also monsters that have only 6 wounds. There's not very many monsters with 6 wounds like that. I think that unit's got to be like 80, 90 points.
You know what else is going to have 6 wounds? Or it might only have 5. It's a spider, though, which is like another...
Monster.
Unit.
Yeah.
It's a monster. It only has 5. I think it might be 5 or 6 wounds.
That's interesting. That's so little, really, though. That like one last cannon shot, it's gone.
In our army, like we get,
Yeah, but a lot of the things like that have like quantum shielding, so last cannon shot that does 6 damage.
Right.
He's gonna get it.
That's cool. Yeah.
Monsters
they don't have that.
None of the monsters have it.
Yeah, I'd hide those things. It sounds like some of your buff characters got to hide like a motherfucker. Now, granted, hell, get one of those fortifications. Get like 3 of those fucking giant rocks and just make a big wall.
Yeah. Like you're gonna have so many warriors and things in their face that I don't know, because I really want the Scorpex to be good, but would not be in a unit of 3. It's just,
dude,
But I think the rates might be really good this edition.
Man, I just really think that you can trust that GW is going to sell some models. Now what?
They gotta put them in units of 6. Like, reanimation. Anything that has reanimation protocol has to be put in a unit of 6. Like, or it's just not fair.
Yeah.
That's what you do. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Totally
that's what you're paying for. Like, come on.
Dude, the Indominus box set, see, I say that, they got to sell some models, but then they kind of force the models, on you with the Indominus set, because they made that value in that box so good that that you almost can't pass it up as even just somebody that's not even going to play Marines or Necrons.
Buy it and sell the other half that you don't want, and you're good to go.
Exactly, yeah. We got broke down here at Battlegrounds. Battlegrounds is going to invest heavily in some copies here because, one, it's a limited run for the Indominus set. So once they're printed and gone, they're gone. Once the book, the book in there is like a 400-page hardback full cover book. So you're getting a badass 9th edition full-blown book out of that. It's $60 value. So once you get a $60 book out of the box, it basically makes every model in the box $2.50. And especially now throw a deal on top of that at 10 to 15% off, and you're really smoking. And you could easily flip that. Yeah. So I think the limited run and the fact of the books in there alone, and the fact that there's all these brand new models in there that you can't get otherwise to kick off a ninth, they're going to sell models plenty just by pushing that box set,
Yeah.
Hopefully, though, they make some cheesy rules like they always do and make Necrons busted because they deserve it.
We deserve it.
Yeah. I agree. I have forgiven 7th edition Decurions. Because that was a busted shit. It felt busted. Let's see, where we at? 9:47. All right, cool. We've talked about a lot of cool things. This is good. What about...
There's really nothing else I can talk about.
Well, something we haven't mentioned that I haven't got to put a lot of attention on, but apparently Storm Shields are going to be going to 4-up invulns based on somebody saw a leak profile.
It's in the Indominus veteran, the Blade Guard veterans.
It's inside the Indominus book. They're showing a veteran profile.
Yeah, they have the...
One thing about the Scarabs, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
What?
I can't hold this here. Scarabs, they got a little better. Anytime they hit on a 6, that's automatically wounds.
Oh, right. I remember hearing that, yeah.
So it's like the same profile, but you roll, and anytime you roll a 6 to hit, you don't have to roll the wound. That's just an automatic.
Yeah, that's nice.
But don't what they have once again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So sorry, just wanted to.
You're good. Yeah. Well, so I guess there's something we just hadn't mentioned though, is that apparently modifiers are capped now. Which is interesting in itself because there's some rules that already exist that give. Literally, from what I've heard,
wound modifiers.
Yeah. So, like, what's weird is certain things like think of an Alpha Legion plane, an Alpha Legion supersonic flyer. That should be -2 to hit. An Alatok Eldar flyer should be -2 to hit. But apparently that doesn't exist. Yeah, it doesn't exist anymore.
So it's only to hit though.
Hit or wound.
Or hit or wound. Okay.
Yep. So no more +2.
Just hate to come back to Necrons, but I'm always going to bring it back to Necrons. They didn't say reanimation or anything, Scat.
No.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, that is good, right?
Or whatever, but there are things that are not going to be dead, probably.
Yeah. Another thing that's a big part of the game, apparently, that I think it's highly, we talk about all this stuff about is this good, is this bad, and as we know, points is such a big factor in that. Well, so are the other, the mission, right? Oftentimes, in order to balance the game, the community has balanced it via the missions. And now we have this kind of new stylized mission coming from GW. It mirrors the ITC missions, where now there's no seize the initiative. It's a 5-round cap, right? And you roll for attacker, defender. But now there's actions in the game. And we have a command phase, right? And that's, I don't have a good grasp on that stuff yet, honestly.
Oh, me neither. I've been psychic phase one where if there's a character within 18 inches and you can score 3 victory points for doing something to them.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Yeah, because I don't understand if the actions are mission specific only, or if there's a number of actions we're going to see written on our profiles now, or is there universal actions?
That or what? Because I thought I read that in a leak where it was if you're within 18 inches and the Psyker is within 18 inches of a character, he can do something to the guy and get victory points for it. But I don't know if that was mission specific or what. I don't know.
Yeah, so I got it pulled up right now. It's performing psychic actions, and it's in the. There's they have an actions.
That was it.
Yeah, there's performing actions and performing psychic actions. Some mission rules and objectives require a unit to perform a psychic action. So here it is telling us that a mission rule has an objective. So in our missions, we might need to perform a psychic action. And this represents a psyker performing all manner of things, ranging from scrying the future, reading the minds of the enemy, calming the tides of the warp, etc. Right? A psyker unit from the army can attempt to perform a psychic action in its psychic phase instead of attempting to manifest a psychic power. A psychic unit cannot attempt to perform a psychic action if it's fallen back this turn, or if it is also attempting to perform another action. So a psyker can only attempt to perform one psychic action a battle round. All right. So again, the short of it is that it looks like psychic actions are something that happens in the command phase, and I'm assuming, I really don't know exactly when it happens, just that it seems like it's mission specific, and that's when it happens, and it's not just something that's otherwise. What?
I hope we have to charge your fucking psychic powers. It's so great.
I think, man, that tells me like victory points are gonna be weird.
Victory points are capped at 100, and the actions that we're discussing, you have the option to select them based off the mission as a secondary.
Oh,
capped
really?
At 100.
Oh.
Yes.
Capped at 100.
That's a lot of points, isn't it?
And
Say that again.
Well, you get plus 10 if you're painted, so.
exactly.
Yeah, you get plus 10 if you fucking your arm's painted. Sorry.
I know. I don't know if that's real or not. And yeah, what the fuck? Yeah, well, like, is it gonna be real from the ITC standard? Is there no more hobby tracker? It's just straight up like GW took care of that.
ITC? Are we playing a 100-point game? I'm gonna score 100 points. Is this a basketball game now?
I'm saying, I mean, like, that's the whole thing too. Is like ITC missions, like when 9th edition drops on the 25th. It's coming down. The 11th is pre-orders for Indominus. 25th is the drop date. Here we go. Does that day one mean that ITC is like, hey, we're playing book missions. Screw these 2020 missions. Or what? I don't know. LVO tickets just went on sale, by the way.
What?
Yeah.
I thought it was canceled.
For 2021.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, things are moving. We're already halfway through this year. 2020 got destroyed by Nurgle, and fucking who knows what's next, dude.
Well, it would be 2021. That's the season always. I mean, it's going to have it in February.
When's the next Warcry tournament? I want to come to Virginia.
That's a great question. It's a great question. That's true. That is true, though, Chris. Good call. At the very least. Now, surely we're going to be okay by then. Fuck if I know, though. But guarantee we'll do something in February.
Do it in January.
Well, January's the LVO, and February traditionally is when we do a big tournament. That's our remember the house tournament, Matt? Well, the one that you missed one, of course, but yeah, that son of a bitch.
Oh, very first year.
Yes, son of a bitch. It was history, Simon.
It's the fucking better story because I wasn't there. You guys give me shit every time.
It sounded like you had fun anyway, so respect.
Well, that morning wasn't fun.
You were taking fun seriously. Very good, very good. We can all respect. I saw Kevin Leonard out there, Soupy, like open container. They snuck in Infinity Actions. I'm reading some comments there. We got Kevin Leonard and Mike out there. It was cool. Today, Mike fought Austin Wingfield for the first match of the tournament series. And then tomorrow on stream about 4:30, Ryan Zell from Those Once Loyal will be fighting Daniel McNally. So that's going to be Ravengard versus Tau tomorrow about 4:30 or 5 o'clock on stream. So that'll be pretty cool. Which that's a big thing. I glazed over some things that obviously we should all know by now. But obviously Overwatch has changed. It's a command point now, right? And you knew that.
I get that naturally.
Yeah, but Tau gets it anyways. Yeah.
Every other special rules. Like,
yeah. Supporting fire for the greater good is what it's called.
That's just what I heard. I mean,
no, you're right. Let's all be sad about it because everybody was celebrating like, yeah, screw you, Tau. And then I was like, oh, they get to do it still. Yeah, it was going to be exciting. Hopefully, James and Matt, you guys froze a little bit. They're there.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
We're talking about the Tau.
Oh, it's cool. No, you had froze for a second. What were you going to say?
No, the Tau Overwatch, I was under the impression that everything had Overwatch. That was their special rule. And he was saying that they still have to pay the command point, but everything, they get the coordinated fire or whatever.
That's probably accurate. Yeah, because Overwatch, it has a rule set for how Overwatch works, but it only activates when you actually spend the universal stratagem on it.
So they're going to need the command point probably, but their whole army is going to be built.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Yep. And don't charge anything that you...
Yeah, and they still have to be in the position to make it work.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Well, one of the things too that was wild, we were talking about earlier with charging about how you have to be able to make
the whole distance.
Yeah. Well, not only do you have to roll the distance that hits everybody, you have to literally put a model with an engagement range of everybody. So that
everything you charge.
Yeah.
And being coherency, and if you're in a big unit, you have to be in coherency with 2 other models.
It's a real bitch. It's a real bitch. So if you're like, cool, I want to go hit this unit that's 8 inches away, but I got this easy 2-inch charge, then you're gonna do both. But maybe now you're forced to allocate some guys to that crap.
Then you only get half inch.
Yeah, exactly. They really neutered us there, man. That was
Half inch, man. It's like
I'm uncomfortable.
I think Orcs got screwed the most out of this edition so far.
That part sucks a lot. And like that, now I started getting worried about combat. Now we didn't mention, and again, should be kind of known, but strategic reserves got changed a lot. Now anything that has the reserve rule continues to be able to do their natural reserve shenanigans for free. So teleportation, deep striking in and shit. But anything that doesn't have the reserve capability now can do it for stratagems. And you basically spend CP based on the overall cumulative power level that you've put in reserve.
That's crazy, man. Like that's going to change the game.
That changes a lot. Yeah, like somebody mentioned, like somebody's like, "Oh, Morty's so cool," but he dies turn 1, and then there's somebody's like, "Well, you can outflank him now."
Yeah, over on the side of the board.
Yeah, well, that's the wild thing too is that the neat thing is one strategic.
They come in still, or
do they basically can walk onto the board, and then they count as moving basically, and they could charge. Yeah, totally. The thing is that they, as you go deeper and deeper into the game, all the way up till the final turn, you can still come in from reserves in turn 5 now if you want. You can go beyond turn 3.
How does it?
The deeper you go into the game, the deeper your ability is to come in from reserves. So out the gates, you can only be like 6 inches from the board edge, but deeper into the game, you can basically deep strike, I think. You might know that more memorized than me, Chris.
Inches anywhere from the board. Right.
Yeah. I forget the escalation of what you can.
You can come in anywhere in your deployment zone, turn 1 or turn 2 or something.
Yeah, right. The weird thing is within 1 inch of your deployment edge, I believe.
Well, you can come even within engagement range within 1 inch off your backfield in your deployment edge.
There you go.
And that can drop you right into combat.
Turn 1, you had some kind of deployment that you could do with your guys.
So for turn 1, actually, strategic reserves are still limited. You can't do them turn 1. And on turn 2, you can't strategic reserve into your opponent's deployment edge either. So it has to be off one of the side edges.
Mm-hmm.
In the neutral area or your area?
Correct. And then starting on, I think, 3+, that's where it starts to open up.
Yeah. I think I was just about to land on actions, turns, strategic reserves. Setting up strategic, yeah, pretty much. I haven't read through this whole section to see if there's any goodies, because that's the thing too, is like we've seen all the major stuff, but if you read really closely some of this shit, there's like little details hiding away in there. I was scared for a minute. The way people were talking, it sounded like when you charged that you had to move it to the nearest enemy with every model in the charging unit, and I was like, what? I was about to freak out. I know, right? The coherency thing is already really tough.
I don't know.
Especially with the coherency check.
I think the smaller board's going to help, but combat's going to be tough. I think combat's going to be more just, you're not going to be able to charge 10 different things. You're going to try to charge one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Charging this, and I want that to kill that. You're not going to be like, that. You're.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot more.
They more one-on-one. They could have swung the pendulum even harder. I mean, they ripped some rules right out of some other game systems. They could have, like in Age of Sigmar, combat's always you go, I go. So you have to really think about multi-charges in Sigmar, because the moment you charge 3 or 4 units, now it's always going back and forth, even if you are the charging guy.
Yeah, so you really just want 1 unit to charge a turn.
Yeah, otherwise you could get, unless you're charging like weak shit that's not going to do anything.
You charge, that unit kills something, now they're always counter-charging. Unless, you're going first somewhere.
Right.
I don't know. That's a weird mechanic.
Oh, shit. I saw you guys holler about are we streaming on YouTube? You know where we're streaming right now? We're streaming on the fucking Infinity channel, dude.
Aha.
Yeah, I played Infinity earlier, so on YouTube we're streaming on Infinity right now. So I'll download the video, post it to our YouTube. Unfortunately, we missed some live viewers. We had a killer episode, guys. Though we were at an hour. I've had a great time getting to hang out with you and fucking Simon, James, Chris, you of course.
That was awesome, dude. I wish I could make it more, man. That was it.
Yeah, well, feel free to jump in if you want to jump in virtually or whatever. We'd love to have you, Simon.
Yeah. So what time do you guys usually do the show?
8 o'clock your guys' time, right? Yeah.
Go to bed at 8:30.
Yeah. Well, we still had some diehards jump in on the old Facebook and Twitch there. Sorry we missed our usual YouTube programming for people that jump in on the back end here. But I know like Heretic Hornet, our friend in Finland, he likes to wake up in the morning, his time, which is still late at night our time, and he drinks his coffee and watches the talk show. So I'll definitely be downloading this and posting up for old Heretic Hornet out there. Shout out to you, my friend.
Yeah, Hornet.
That's right.
Buddy.
That's right. But it's been a good time. Keep taking fun seriously, everybody, and we will catch you next time. Peace.